everyone, it's Shah Moore here, coming to you live on the Facebook page for the first time. So really excited today. We're going to be having a behind this canvas chat. I was about to say scenes, but that doesn't work when you're talking with an international artist, does it? We just want to check in and make sure that the sound quality is good. So whoever's online first, can you just let us know that you can see and hear us, please? I'll make sure the message chat's on. All right, so if you jump on live, let us know so that we can make sure you're here. Otherwise, we're just going to keep talking. So I'd love to introduce you today to international artist Tracie Eaton. So
Hello, everyone.
This is her in the flesh, and this is her on the back of our magazine with a beautiful spread. And I know you're going to see this backwards, but you can see her gorgeous article in this issue of YMag. Isn't that beautiful?
Thank
so
you.
we're gonna have a chat today. So Tracie, welcome.
Thank you.
And this is our first Facebook Live in the YMag group, so we're really excited. Yes,
I didn't know I was the first.
You are. You're our
Cool.
Facebook Live virgin for us. We're really excited to have you here. So as you jump on board, please say hello and comment so we know you're there and you can hear us and hopefully see us. So let's jump in.
Yep.
Tracie, I'd love to know, like, how long have you been an artist for and painting in this sort of space?
Okay, so I started painting 11 years ago. I started painting because I was really done with my corporate job. I just had a guts feel, walked in one day and went, I can't do it anymore. So as all good girls do, I went shopping to make myself feel better, considering I just decided to resign from my job, and walked past an art store and thought, oh my God, I think I might start painting. And that's it. That's all. And for 2 years, all I did solidly then was just to paint. And then started doing it again kind of part-time while I set up another business. And just over 12 months ago, I just sat back and went, okay, this is mad. I need to follow my passion, need to make some life changes. So became a professional artist.
And that was 12 years ago?
12 months ago.
12 months ago. But
so 11 years painting,
for 11, wow.
But it took me that long to actually take it seriously enough and realise I could do this as a living. And in that 12 months, it's just insane.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So doesn't that go to show that you might have an idea or business inside of you, or a passion or a why, and it can take that long to actually turn that into a business. So well done for pursuing that.
Well, I think you have to be ready for it.
Yes.
And I wasn't ready for it until recently. So, and it's the moment that I decided, well, I realised that I was, my world changed.
Wow. Isn't that great? So tell us, we've got to know, being at YMag, why do you do what you do? Why do you get so much joy out of painting?
We could talk for a long time about that.
I've got all night.
Oh my God. I decided a long time ago that, and this has always been something I think that's driven me, is that I want people to feel happy. I want them to have some beauty in their lives, some I don't know, to look at something and sense part of themselves that makes them uplift them, makes them feel better, or inspire them to make a change or something. And for me, colour does that. So, very quick story. 100 years ago, well maybe not quite 100 years ago, a few years ago.
She looks good for 100.
When I was training to be an occupational therapist, I came across a exercise where they used children, that's sort of a terrible word, they worked with kids who had been blind from birth, so they had no conscious understanding of what colour looks like, yeah? If you can imagine that for a second. So what they did is they had silk scarves and they dyed each scarf a different colour, red, blue, green, standard, and all the kids were in separate rooms. Every child actually described blue in the same way, red in the same way. So at that moment, that was when I was in my 20s, I'm like, okay, so I need to understand this colour thing more. And obviously as an artist, colour to me is everything, so you can kind of see from behind.
Isn't that beautiful?
I love colour, and I love bright colour. And everybody that I speak to, when they're talking to me about having a piece of art in their house, I'm not interested actually in what colour they love. I'm more interested in how they want their house to feel, what's their favourite place, where do they like to hang out, what's important to them from a value perspective, and that helps me then to align the colour that they need. And then of course we have to match it with their decor and everything. So my why, coming back to that, is about inspiring, is about creating a space where people feel happy, safe, comfortable, whatever is important for them. And hopefully when they see my work, they feel there is an opportunity for everyone to just completely be whatever they want and follow their heart, really.
Oh, isn't that
That's
a
my
beautiful,
why.
that a beautiful why?
Yeah.
Wow. So if you're online, I can see a few people there. So just say hello and comment and wave at us so we know you're there, or write something. All right. So look, Tracie, you know, being in business, it's you know, officially just gone 12 months.
Yes.
Hey, Felicity, how are you? So, you know, being in business for about 12 months and painting and being an artist for 11 years, what are some highs and lows you can talk about? Because I guess when all of us are on this journey, we all face different challenges, okay? And it's funny when you look at people from the outside, you think, oh, it's all right for them, they've got it all together. And that's why we want to do these behind the canvas chats, because we just want to make sure that you know that we're just like you. Tracie's just like you, I promise you. You know, pursued her why, put everything on the line to go and be a full-time artist to produce beautiful pieces for you. But she would have faced challenges. So do you want to run through some of the, do we want to start with the lows? Let's start with the lows and we'll end with the highs. How's that?
Ooh, okay. Some of the lows. I think one of the big challenges being in a creative space. Now, actually, I'll take a step back from that. I've come from a corporate sales background, so I never really took my creativity seriously, and I think that's an important thing. And maybe that's one of the first things about the lows, really, is because when you're really creative, the more creative I get, as in the more I paint, the more I start to question my worth, actually, which is really interesting. I don't know if other artists do, but you look at a piece and go, oh my God, is it good enough? Is anyone's going to like it? And then you kind of just have to work out a way within yourself to go, seriously, cut that out.
Actually, can I just talk about that before you go on to more of the lows? Because how many of us, so it doesn't matter if you're an internationally famous artist or whatever you're doing, a bookkeeper, accountant, it doesn't matter. Doesn't that show we all have the same limiting beliefs and thoughts about our work? It doesn't matter what you're doing, so don't think you're alone. So
but it's also, you're right, but it's also up to us to try and say, okay, so am I going to take this on, or I'm just saying no, or I say to myself, you're talking through a hole in your head, move on. You know, like I can choose whether I absorb that and let it stop me, or just go, hell no, let's move on and do our own thing.
Absolutely.
So, but coming back to the lows, I think that reason I mentioned corporate is because I spent so many years of a lot of my early adult years trying to figure out, I guess in part, who I was, and constantly squashing the creative component that I had within me, because I was like, oh, you can't take that seriously, it's not real.
Hi, Mo.
Get a real job. Hey, Mo. Get a real job. Get something that is tangible, yeah? But what it ended up doing was completely destroying me in every possible way. So one of the big lows and the changing components of my world was that at the age of 42, I had too many strokes. And my husband's like, seriously, babe, well, you've got to change your life. You're not going to be around to see 45. So that in itself is an interesting thing, because being a businesswoman or business owner at that point, to then having to take a step back and go, what is it that I'm really passionate about, and what is it that actually heals me? And without question, I didn't even have to think. It was painting and art. So I think most people, actually, who really have known me as a business owner for years, looked at me.
Hi, Donna, welcome.
Hey, Donna. Looked at me 12 months ago and went, oh my God, you've gone insane. Because here I was. I gave up my growing business.
Don't you have to have moments of insanity to do
all
a
the
business?
time to paint? And I think so. The biggest lows of my life is actually what has created this opportunity for me to now start flying.
Isn't that beautiful? And look, you do have to have moments of insanity to survive in business, because that's what makes us who we are, isn't it?
Insanity coupled with self-belief.
Yes.
I think, and I said before, I wasn't ready for my art a few years ago, and I think a huge part of that was I was always insane. So my friends tell me.
She still is.
Slightly, but that's kind of fun.
That's part of it, isn't it? But like attracts like, apparently.
And that's all good.
And you need a huge big spoon of courage, by the way, as well.
Yes, you do. And so I think the moment that you have the realization that you are worthy of following your passion is when you can be insane but still continue to do it anyway and take the leap of faith.
Definitely. So, Tracie, you mentioned before, hey Louise, welcome. You mentioned before about, the different highs, the lows in business. What about some of the actual things that you've done, like maybe a decision you made, and afterwards, like, haven't we all made a decision at some point and gone, what facepalm? What was I thinking? Let us know, and keep sending us love hearts if you can hear and see us. We love seeing them fly across the screen.
If you're talking about the number of crazy, ridiculous decisions that I thought were really good at the time,
we haven't got all night, Tracie.
We don't have all night.
Top 3.
Oh my gosh. I guess I will say this: all of the decisions that I have made that have been less fruitful, shall we say?
Nicely put. Thank you.
Always revolved around me second guessing my gut instinct. Actually, I would say it that way.
Oh, there's something in that.
Yeah, very much. Anything from signing contracts that I probably shouldn't have signed, or buying something, or investing in taking on staff, even when you're taking the risk, going, okay, I've done the figures here, blow it, I'm going to give it a go. But inside something's going, I'm not so sure.
That gut instinct, that internal GPS is guiding you, but often we don't listen.
Most people don't listen. Not enough, and I didn't listen enough. So loads. There's hundreds. But you know what? I was looking at something on Facebook the other day, and I'm a firm believer in it. Failure gives us the opportunity to grow. And totally. I know it's been said by everyone all the time, but without the crazy mess ups that I have made, and trust me, there's been a few. Even when I'm painting, I'll look at something part way and go, "Oh my God, seriously, what are you thinking?" But from some of the even the worst paintings I've been doing, ends up being a beautiful piece. So you just got to give it a go and not be afraid to try stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And look, we all have loads of those things. And you said before about, the failures are your greatest lessons and so on. They always say that when you're at your lowest low, so if anyone's experiencing that now, the good thing is that you can't go any lower. And also, when you try, like if you stand up, I'm not going to do it because I've got heels on, but if you stand up and try and jump, you can't go very high. But when you're absolutely flat on the ground and you're bent knees and you try and jump, then you can springboard up a lot higher.
Correct.
So they often say that the lessons we learn on the way down to getting to that bare bones really help us springboard so much faster back up. Would you agree?
The very things that will actually get you faster than you've ever thought possible.
And jump higher than you ever
Very
thought possible.
much.
And you get there so much quicker than before as well.
So when I went from the previous business, which was digital marketing, so completely different to what I'm doing now, those lessons of 5 years of being in that business, I feel is what's helped me to grow the business aspect of the Tracie Eaton brand so much faster than I could ever have imagined.
So isn't that interesting? That business, digital marketing, had nothing and has nothing to do with art.
No.
However, it was a stepping stone that was necessary for this part of your journey.
Absolutely.
So look at your own lives as well in businesses and go, maybe you think what you're doing now is so not relevant to your passion, but maybe it is.
I would say so. And with that, like I said before, with me in corporate, the things that it taught me, and it gave me the space and the time to realise who I really was, and about being afraid of that person, or being fearful of being squashed, without that time, I can't imagine doing what I'm doing now.
No, definitely. And sometimes it's a matter of doing what you don't love and don't want to do to see and realise what you do.
Correct.
We need the polar opposite.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about some highs, because we've gone through the lows. So now let's share some of the good stuff so people can see what's possible.
Well, I have to say, one of the biggest highlights of my life, and this is so simple.
Being on the back cover of YMag. No. Being our 2018 partner.
Was when I decided that I was going to do a brand launch last year and do my very first exhibition. One of the things that I wanted to do was to have I thought it'd be a cool idea to body paint myself and then turn that into some pieces of art. And there was a whole raft of reasons around that. One being I wanted to show women that we're amazing and beautiful regardless of... Yeah, that's one of them. Thank you. But the very first photo shoot that we did was so basic. Now, I've never been a model. I've never been in front of a camera. I certainly have never been body painted, let alone having that out in public, because it was out and it was in the middle of nowhere, really, but it was still outside.
Out your bedroom,
So I had Susie, dental woman, she's helped me to paint. So in an hour and a half, we body painted myself silver, just metallic silver. But I swear to you, it was the middle of winter, I was freezing cold in the water. I sat in the car afterward, literally for about half an hour, like all rugged up.
Oh my gosh.
But it was the most freeing, most incredible experience I've ever been. So that high carried me for some months, and me realising that, oh my God, I am now full-time an artist doing what I want to do. It's insane. Another high was being recognised and being asked to be represented for a gallery in New York, because I was always wanted to go overseas. That was amazing. And
she's famous. She's famous.
Thank you. Get in there. So that was very exciting, and that's opened opportunities and thought patterns about how we can actually secure that on our own steam, as opposed to having to rely on other galleries. So that's very exciting. So watch this space, people.
Yes.
Yay. Another high has been asked to be involved with a large resort that's been built here on the Gold Coast, and be basically their artist partner of choice for quite a period of time. That's called the Ruby Collection. So if you're on the Gold Coast, you can come and check that out in a couple of years.
And you'll see all of the Tracie Eaton artwork as you open elevator doors.
And some.
Yeah. It's going to be everywhere. So, and you'll be able to say, I saw her live interview.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, well done. That's fantastic. So, Tracie, you talked a bit before about the choice we have when things happen, and we have the choice to take it on or not. Yeah. So let's just talk about mindset, because, you know, in every successful business or in anything that we do, it is always about what's sort of going on up here. So talk about some of the mindset decisions or situations you've been in, and you know, for some of us, we can turn and pivot quite quickly, but for a lot of us, we can't. We stay in that place, and then we finally go, right, it's time to get out of it. So just talk a bit about mindset, how it's worked for you, when it hasn't, what have you done about it?
Look, I think when it comes to more traditional business, my mindset, I've always been a high achiever, and just wanted to be. I always have done everything I could do to the best of my ability, and 10 to the dozen. My nickname was Hurricane Tracie for a reason. Yeah?
I'll remember that.
Exactly.
Oh, Michelle's congratulating on New York. Yeah,
oh, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, it is very exciting. But my mindset wasn't right during that time, because I still didn't have the belief, so I'd question everything. So if I'll flip forward to owning the business that I do now, aka being a full-time artist, and the mindset challenges we have with this is very interesting, because, as I alluded to before, being creative, there's a few challenges there. One, we look at shiny objects and we get easily distracted.
I thought that was just my
problem. Oh my God, because someone will say something like, oh my God, let's do that. So one of the learned behaviours and mindset patterns that I've had to embrace, and I'm very pleased I'm still getting there, is the ability to stay focused.
Yes.
That's really important. So I have little routines that I make to make sure that I'm on target. So, for example, my calendar is colour-coded.
Of course.
Yeah. So my appointments are one thing.
And lacquered, by the way, and gold foiled.
Of course, with a bit of glitter. So we have appointments, one thing. Admin time is another thing. Painting time is another. So as an example, that helps me to stay structured. And that became something I had to do. Another big challenge with mindset for me is turning on a creative brain, then turning that off, and then flipping on to a business brain, or vice versa. And that can be very challenging, because they are completely opposite. So yeah, I have what I call a procrastination activity. It lasts about 40 minutes normally.
With wine?
Sometimes. Depending on
like
time
wine
of day.
at YMag.
Yes. But that process is like, I'll just tidy up. I'll clean some brushes. I'll lay my paints out. I'll clean some rags. I'll fill up my water containers. Whatever it is, I light my candle. Turn my music on really loud. But it takes, as I say, 30 to 40 minutes before I can absolutely start to flip my head.
Can anyone relate to that? Just type a comment.
Yeah, it's so important. So mindset in that regard is huge. And coming back to what I said before, there's 3 things that I believe that we really need to regardless of business, is to get over. One is you have to have complete trust in yourself. For me, that also means trusting the creative process. Because the moment that I question it, the moment I start thinking, my paintings are average. They're not as good as they could be. The other one is to let go of expectation. So that's one thing that I've had to learn. We all create. I certainly put a lot of emotional attachment to things, And I'm learning very quickly that we need to let go of that, because the higher expectation you have, the harder it is to allow yourself to not judge and question that. And so often for me, I found that I didn't meet them. Whereas now I'm like, okay, so this is what I want to do. How the hell are we going to make that happen? And then just allow it to happen. And the other thing is, don't be afraid of mistakes. Don't be afraid of mistakes. As I said before, some of the coolest stuff I've done in my paintings have come from a mistake. Yeah.
There are none, really.
There are none. But that comes back to allowing yourself to be able to just be in that flow and trust yourself.
Mila.
So yeah.
That's wonderful. And, you know, mindset is a daily, it's like kind of like a muscle, and it's something you need to exercise every day, and sometimes many times a day. And
especially when you get something that knocks your confidence or your thinking, and it really challenges your thought process. Remind yourself of the things you're amazing at, or the things that is going to get you through to the next phase.
Absolutely, and no one's exempt from it. So don't think if you're having a bad mindset day that you're all alone out there. We all go through it. And, you know, even in the planner, like that daily question. So ask yourself on a daily basis, and check in with yourself at the end of the day. What did you do right today? What can you celebrate today? What's your intention for tomorrow? And be grateful for the things that did happen that didn't go bad. Celebrate those, because the more we send out that beautiful gratitude energy, the more that comes in. And the mindset, the other great thing is having people to talk to about it, because I'm sure, so have you had certain people over the years that have been your go-to just to bounce ideas off, and if you're having a low day, you can check in and go, okay, why am I feeling like this? Like, you would have to have sort of your support circle.
Look, I have had, it took me a long time to accept that I needed it. I'm someone who's always internalized things and beaten myself up about something, as opposed to trying to offload it. Apart from my core, like my husband, for example, he would wear everything. Now, however, and as I started to progress into my own business, there were people that I really did need to ring and offload to, or pick up the phone and go, hey, what do you think about this idea? And I really like people who will shut me down quickly too if it's a crap idea. Like, I think it's important to not have people that just make you feel good.
Yes.
People who can call you out on your rubbish.
Yes.
Or call you out on the stuff, you'll say something and they go, seriously? What are you freaking on? Like, no, you don't want to do that. And I think that's really important too.
That's fantastic. So if anyone has any questions, this is your chance to ask Tracie live. So type your question in the box and we'll read it out. So, you know, when we talk about commissioned artwork, because, you know, there's a lot of art out there. There's cheap art, there's really expensive art, there's everything in the middle. And when you think about commissioned artwork, so really what you do is a piece that's commissioned for someone. Why is it important? Like, someone will ask, you know, and I'm not all that savvy with all of this, so I guess I'm probably asking this on behalf of a lot of you, is why would you go down the path of having something done just for you? What's the benefit?
I love commissioned artwork, which in essence is you and I sitting together having a conversation, and both of us, but your energy, your thoughts, and my energy and thoughts come together in a beautiful piece. Commissioned art is always an original, which means that no one will ever have what you've got.
I like
and
that.
How can they anyway? Because that art really does become part of you. So the pieces that I've done for people, I spend a bit of time in the shed. I need to get in your head. I need to understand.
Oh God, that could be dangerous.
Right? That's where the wine comes in, people.
I've got water.
But I really need to understand who you are as the person as much as possible, so that I can create something that reflects who you are and the essence of you and what environment you're trying to create. So a difference between buying a piece of art off the shelf or from a catalogue or whatever it could be, and having something that is created uniquely for you, that creating process means that you are involved in as much as you want to. So for example, I will spend some time talking to you. I'll present to you what I think that we need to do based on those conversations, and when we start painting, I'll send photos all the way through the process.
That'd be so exciting.
Yeah, so you can kind of see it grow and
It's
develop.
like watching your baby grow and getting a new scan.
People say, why would you want to watch paint dry? I so like watching paint dry, because things change and they develop and they morph, and my intention is to try and involve. It's true.
I know, but it's the first time I've actually had someone to talk to where that actually makes sense.
It's so true, I do. But I really like to involve people in that process as much as I can. And it can be a bit challenging sometimes, because you'll see a stage and go, oh my God, seriously?
What is she thinking?
but it always comes up. So a commission piece of art is about having something that is not just a financial asset, because the art is a financial asset. It appreciates.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
Yeah. But most importantly, it's about having something that you walk past every single day and it touches your soul. It touches your soul.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
So if you've been thinking about having a commissioned piece of art, whether you're watching this live or watching the recording, ask a question. If you've got a question about what size, or where would I put it, why would I get it, which room, please ask it, because we'll be checking in here on the video and we'll answer your questions, whether it's today or 4 months down the track. So don't feel you can't, because sometimes, if it's an area that you don't know well and you're not sure, you don't want to walk into a gallery and ask what could be considered, you might think is a stupid question. There are no stupid questions. So this is your chance to ask a real, like she's real, I can touch her, real artist, a question about something you may have had in your heart, or a scenery, or something that you just feel you'd love to see out there, but you're not a visual and you don't know how to make that happen. So this is your chance to ask it. So please do, and Tracie will answer it for you.
And one thing I'd say about that too is I often get asked by a lot of people what makes good art, because you're right what you just said. People feel nervous about talking about art because there's often a perception that we don't know anything about art. Art, I believe, is as simple as this: do you love it or do you not?
That's a good point.
Yeah, because if you don't love it, don't get it.
Yes.
All my commission, I saw that Mo was on here before. I'm sure you can attest to this, Mo, but if you don't love it, I will do another one, because there's no point having something up there that you look at and go, yeah, it's okay. I'm not a believer in buying art because it's got a name or a label. I'm a believer in buying art because you go, holy moly, I've got to have that in my space. It makes me feel something, whatever it is for you, and that is important enough that it makes you feel good. It always makes you feel good. And the art that you don't like, trust me, you'll also remember that forever as well. You will.
Oh, it's like those bad pair of shoes we bought that don't fit properly, but we just had to have.
I saw one very quickly. I saw one of that. This is probably about 10 years ago, so just really started painting. And I went to an exhibition competition, and I saw this big piece. I won't describe it in detail, just in case the person is
you might have it.
Yeah. But to this day, I remember standing there with the manager of the gallery, and we're both standing going, oh my God, really? Like, how did this win? And Chris, the guy, the manager at the time, he turned around and he said to me, Trace, an artist's job is to make someone feel something. Art elicits an emotion. Good,
even if it makes you feel sick.
Even if it makes you feel sick.
Oh, maybe I can be an artist after all.
That's it.
Because that would be my reaction if you saw mine.
The point is, someone will look at that and go, oh my God, I love that. And that's all that art is. That's what you need. And I shouldn't say all that art is, but what I mean is that's all you need to know about art.
Great.
Do you love it or not?
Wow. So look, I've got a question. So
sure.
If someone was thinking about choosing, so you may be building a place, renovating, or you may have an existing home and you're just looking at a wall going, it just doesn't feel right. If someone's sitting there at home watching this live or a recording and they're going, okay, yeah, there is a wall I'm not happy with, well, where would they start? What are some questions that you would ask them if they came to see you about getting a piece for that space?
So I do ask about their decor, obviously, because if there's a certain colour tone that you're looking at putting into your home, I do need to make sure that your art piece does match that or work within that.
Send us some hearts, guys, so we know you're still there and we're not just talking to ourselves, please.
I am used to talking to myself, so it's okay.
So am I, but we'd like to have some hearts anyway.
Exactly. So yeah, obviously the decor is one thing, but also how do you want your home to feel? What's important to you? Do you want? Have you got a really busy job and you want to come home and be completely stress-free? I mean,
thank you.
So it needs to be relaxed or calm. Do you want something from the outside of your environment brought in, or do you want the room to be happy, uplifting, and like behind? That's not a chilled out, relaxed piece, but it's beautiful and it's lots of energy.
Thanks for that.
So it's a matter of. So that's really important. I'll often ask about family members as well. So for example, I had one client who had her home office and obviously in the same place. Just from her lounge room, there she had two kids, very different personality kids. So there were some colours that resonated with others. So I needed to work that in. As I said before, where's your favourite? Oh, thanks, Mo.
Mo loves your work too. Mo's got a few original Tracie Eatons too. They are beautiful.
where do you like to go? So there was one client I had who was it was in his places for his office, very busy office, no natural light, and his favourite chill out time was a rainforest. So we painted him a rainforest.
That would be lovely.
Now, when we started, he had no concept of what he was thinking about having. He just wanted a painting to replace one he had. So my role, I guess, is to help facilitate thinking from you guys about what it is that's really important to you. And then we kind of smash that all up, merge it together, and
get some paint out, and get dirty.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly
then
how
she
it works.
sits and watches paint dry, which has always been a negative comment, but in an artist's
Not in my
world,
world.
that's like the number one thing.
Or it's like, no, don't try, not yet.
Yeah. And I guess another question that I'm wondering if you at home are thinking this, if you're not based on the Gold Coast, which is where this fabulous artist is based, can someone get a piece of art? Can you do Zoom or Skype sessions? You can have the consultation. They can send you pictures and she can post it. You can do it anywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you said, I've got work internationally, so there is no borders or barriers about where you are and where I am. It's just a matter of us connecting. As you said, seeing photos, looking at your environment, and spending some time chatting with each other and going for it.
She's good fun to chat to. We're having dinner in New South Wales and watching. Hey, awesome! Excellent. So look.
Sorry about the big mug, by the way.
Okay, let's do this. So that's her mindset challenge in her cup.
Yep.
Awesome. So look, if people do want to contact you, Tracie, what's the best way that I can obviously comment on here and we'll be keeping an eye out and let you know, but how could they reach out to you if they've got a question or they're interested in getting a piece done? Where would they find you?
The easiest thing to do would either be to check out my business Facebook page, which is just Tracie Eaton Artist, or my website, so tracieeaton.com.
And we'll put the links up on this video as well.
Very much. Otherwise, feel free to reach out. Well, if you're going to my Facebook page anyway, or my website, you'll see the phone number. I'm happy to chat. Or email tracie@tracieeaton.com.
There you go. That's how you can find her. So if anyone has any questions or if this has been helpful, leave us a comment. Is there anything you'd like to say as we wrap up?
Just go do it.
Yeah.
I guess the whole thing of feel the fear and do it anyway. It really is so true. If you feel that you're sitting on something that you just desperately feel like you want to try, just give it a go, because you just never know where it may lead you.
Absolutely, and that comes back to backing your why. You know, Tracie put everything on the line, left a very handsomely paying corporate job, and
give it a shot.
Exactly, and got her hands dirty. And now look what's happening. The world is opening up, and people are scrambling to get an original Tracie Eaton. How beautiful is that?
It's so exciting.
Because she backed herself. And New York, I mean, there's no place that
exciting.
you would want to be but New York, right? As an artist or anyone in business. So it just shows what happens when you absolutely tap into your why, you back yourself, you take a huge big bucket of courage with you and surround yourself, and wine, totally. And you surround yourself with people that you know can collaborate and make it happen for you. So go after your why. Thank you all so much for joining, whether you're here live or the recording.
Thanks for taking the time, guys. Thank you.
Look forward to doing this again in a few weeks. We're actually going to be interviewing our cover person, Maz, and having again a candid chat about the work she does. So hopefully you can join us live then. But thank you, Tracie, for your time today. And
thank you, Michelle. So I was just reading. Well done for backing yourself. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Perfect. Look, thanks everyone for being online, and we'll talk to you all again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.